Ofe Nsala, also known as white soup, has become one of my family's favorite recipes. Hi guys, this is Sweet Moms here, and today we are going to be making Ofe Nsala the traditional way. This is a healthy and rich nutritious soup, basically because you don't need oil to cook it. It contains 300 to 350 calories per serving. So if you're on a weight loss journey, you definitely should try this recipe. For this recipe, I'm using cow tail. You can use any protein of your choice, but my husband prefers me using cow tail for this recipe. So this is my washed cow tail, and I'm adding it to my pot. You see this remaining water here? I like adding it to use it to steam my meat properly. I added my meat spices already, and I'm using up to 7 cubes of Maggi. You can use any Maggi of your choice. I usually use no Maggi, but today I had onga available and we are using it. Stir properly, allow it to marinate, then you put it on fire. I went ahead to blend my pepper and onions, which I would use for my cow tail. I blended this off camera. If you don't have a blender, you can pound it or you can roughly chop it. I've allowed this meat to steam, and you can see it is bringing out its own juice, its own water. When you're steaming your meat, you don't need to add any water again. You see this thing I'm showing you, it is part of the cow tail skin. That part, it is very hard and strong. In fact, cow tail is very hard to cook. You have to cook it for about 1 hour 30 minutes or probably 2 hours. So we are cooking it and I'm adding more water. In order to soften your meat so that you don't waste your guts, you can add baking soda, but I didn't have baking soda available, so I had to allow this to boil very well. It has finished boiling, and if you check the side of my pot, you will notice that this pot has been on fire for a lot of minutes. For this particular recipe, I like adding my pepper and onions towards the end of the meat getting done, because I still want to feel the taste of it. Am I the only one that don't like strong meat? My husband likes strong meat, but I like my meat being very done, if possibly soft. We transfer the meat into another bowl and we set it aside. In another washed pot, we are going to add our pre-boned and pre-cooked stockfish. Is there anything like that? We are basically going to add our stockfish and allow it to boil very well till it's soft a bit. Because I love pepper, I chopped more pepper, which I would use for my soup. I already have some catfish that I've dried with my air fryer, and I'll be using it for this recipe. Our stockfish has come to a boil, so this is the time you add your catfish or any dried fish you're using. I also added crayfish, lots of crayfish, and we are going to be adding ogiri. The smell of this thing outside soup is awful, but trust me, when you add it to your soup, it is lovely. By this time, I've added my meat water. Yes, the cow tail water we used to boil the I also added the ogiri, and I'm adding the pepper I chopped. You stir and allow to come to a boil. Now this is just a random question: which is the best pot to use for cooking? As for me, I prefer stainless pot, but let me know in the comment section which one is the best. The main ingredient of Nsala soup is your yam, because the yam is what we will use as your thickener. I added a bit of uyayak and pepper soup spice. This is optional, but I just wanted to add it because I had little. Now this gives it a sharp taste, so it's not compulsory. I tasted my soup and I noticed it needed more spice, so I added more Maggi to my soup. After 10 minutes, you're going to check on your yam and you're going to take it out, because by this time it is done. Remember the quantity of yam you added to your soup so that you don't end up eating cubes of yam in your soup. As for me, I think I added about 10 to 12 pieces of yam. I grinded my yam off camera till it is smooth, and I'm adding it in small portions. I had some Utazi leaf in the fridge, which I've already dried and dehydrated, as you can see, so I washed this properly and chopped it too. After 8 minutes, we checked on our soup, and as you can see, our grinded yam has melted. So the goal is to allow your yam to boil and melt on its own. Like I told you, this will be your thickener for your soup. The aroma from my soup, everybody in the house was just waiting. I added my leaf and I stirred properly. At this point, you can turn off your gas, but I waited for about 2 minutes so that my leaf can boil before I turned off my gas. This is a simple, traditional, correct way to cook Ofe Nsala. I paired this with yellow garri, but the main swallow for this soup is pounded yam. I don't really like pounded yam. I prefer pounded plantain than pounded yam, but you can use any swallow of your choice. So let me know, would you be trying this?